are great because they support data segregation into work groups. Basically, work groups will be set up potentially as like your own laboratory, for example. So if you have, if you're working at a large pharmaceutical company and you have labs set up at different locations, or even within the same facility but in different spots, for example, you can set up your own work group. And it would be kind of an individual laboratory, so like you can keep things, information, to its own work group, or you can share it potentially as well. So it's up to you. And so again, several different sites within a company can use the same server, but data can be kept separate, each by having its own work group. So this is keeping, again, for data integrity practices and ideas, segregation of duties. Not only is it true to the person or to the user role, but also through work groups and laboratories as well. So trending, and this is a very, very strong feature of our software. So users can query based on any number of qualifiers, as you see that within the circle. So we have many choices to look at. And trending is, for data integrity purposes, not part and parcel of it ideally, but when you're looking at trending and looking for things that are becoming potentially out of specification over time and seeing it trend out, you have control over the process. And that's the idea here, you have control. And when you do that, you bring in data integrity to a much stronger standpoint within your company. You have one window here that shows query results tables and graphs. And you have the ability to mask outliers as well. So the trending module gives users the ability to view and analyze data on demand. And it's so strong for data integrity again. So, some of the things you can look at for trending, for example, is like user ID, qualifiers such as standard reaction time, fluorescent RFQ, standard percent of CDs, standard concentrations. You can look at your headers, you can look at reagents, you can look at your assays, and it's quite a remarkable tool. So let me show you how it looks actually. It's quite nice. So some of the questions you can ask yourself is, does my wear list show an increase in endotoxin over time? Does any specific drop show positive results more often than another? And if so, what's the frequency? As you can see, on the qualifiers, you see we dropped down we have many choices. We'll see it again here shortly. But choosing a work group. So here are the qualifiers you can choose from. And you can equal it, and you can pick up certain product. We're going to pick polynegacillin. Okay, product results. Okay, positive product control. And you see that you kind of graph out towards the bottom, which is quite nice. And each of those little icons, those little red dots, are actually an assay for the most part. So you can actually click onto one of those dots and actually pull up the test result very quickly to see what happened out of specification as well. Something occurred. You can work with the graphs. They're very easy to work with. You can look at your product and your positive product control. You're clicking onto the assay itself. You can see the standard curve, the reaction times of the standards, the product results. Something happens. You have a high percentage of PDC recovery, way over 200%. You have a log summary, which is your audit trail. You have accessories listed. You have calibration for your accessories that are required as well, which is something like data integrity. We'll add another qualifier in. We'll add the log number. We'll add a header in to see if something's happened. As you header was put into the mix. And then see, you can turn plotting with x-axis and y-axis. And it's quite efficient actually. So it really shows you what you can do with your training tools that you have, which is fantastic again. So we're going to look at maintaining product lists. The next step, so maintain product lists, create and maintain a reference list of regular accepted products to allow for fast and consistent data entry and retrieval. So as you can see here on the template, you can see your product list for what's offered. So you can bring your product in from Liz, and you can bring it into the software directly through the software, all in one portal. As you can see by this arrow pointing here. Once you bring them in, they're ready to be brought in for testing. You can actually bring them for training as well, if you like. So again, the training tool is quite a valuable tool with our software. We have customers that just absolutely love it, and they swear by it. That's the best thing that's ever happened for their talking software. So it's just try to take a look at it at some point if you ever get a chance, because it can really provide valuable data where you get foresight into what's happening in the future with systems that may go out of specification as well. Another thing you have to keep in mind too is you want to look at your accessories. So just like with the product, it's important to associate an accurate and consistent list of accessories used with each test to allow for effective trending and investigation. Our software, WinKQCL, allows millions of global lists of accessories used for each laboratory. Each user can create their own default list from this global list to save time with setting up their templates. It is possible to assign a calibration technician or specific analyst with responsibility of maintaining this list while locking out all other users. And this is a fantastic tool to have as well. So I love the accessories. So WinKQCL, I think it's fantastic actually, because when I look across other platforms for endotoxin testing software, I really don't see it used quite to this level. So when you enter expiration dates, for example, you cannot run an assay. The software will not allow you to run an assay. The reagents are out of expiration, and that is a huge feature to have. Another feature to have is that when you're actually using a header, we can have certain equipment in place, which is actually set up in the software so that we have all your instruments in place. We don't actually have to create a tab or something for your header on your own. You actually have their stuff in the system. And then you have to have, there's also calibration due by section you have to populate as well. And again, if your equipment is out of calibration, it won't let you run the assay. So there's data integrity modes in effect to prevent for failure to happen if things go wrong within your assay. So it's really quite a nice software to work with. So again, you're just looking at the accessories. And then we'll go on to capturing correct media and equipment. So again, paper-based methods require the use of sample sheets or logbooks to capture activities. You see what I was mentioning earlier about the accessories is that you have to have a calibration due and expiration due as well, or expiration date in there as well. And it does it normally for a year out. So consumables set up in our automation software must be associated with specific methods and require expiration dates. Again, this is all the data, and what are we talking about with expiration dates and calibration dates and expiries and things? This is all metadata as well. So again, when you bring your data with the archive or sort of when you bring it back, you'll have all this information associated with it, and it does not get lost. So we have tools as well for the transcription error. So we support CD barcode printing on our vials. As you can see here, there's a barcode that we use that goes directly on our vial of lysate. And this is fantastic as well because when you're looking at gel processing, some of the disadvantages potentially are transcription errors that you may see. So things can happen, and it could be illegibly read when you're recording it or looking at it. So with this, we're actually taking, when you're working with MinCTTL, you just use a barcode or barcode scanner, and you scan the reagent or the reagent of the vial, and you basically have everything populated into the software directly. So there will be no transcription error when bringing this in. So this is how it looks. You see how it looks into the software? So your LAO order and the toxin all coming in. So if you're using a kit, expiration dates are associated. As you can see there. So let's take a view of it in the software. So you can open it up, the template, you can click on the assay. Remove it from the log summary if anything. There's a change that's been made as well. You can see that it's been modified, as you can see with the asterisk as well. So this is something to clearly see in an assay, besides just looking at the log summary, which is the audit trail, to look for identifying things that could have been manipulated or changed. So again, this includes from the FDA to review the audit trail. But what it really means is that we must review the complete history of the data set record. And that we must approve it as well and review it. And that's really the important thing as well. So you want to ensure no one is testing anything compliant. You want to ensure that only authorized personnel are running tests and ensure only authorized samples are being tested. And this is all still critical. And this is so critical to the FDA as well. And so when the FDA actually comes in or an auditor comes in who's talking about data, they want to make sure your audit trail is turned on because it's active. And they'll ask you why or why not are you not reviewing your audit trail on a frequency basis. And you must also set up a criteria on what's important and how often you should review your audit trail as well. So you should not review by exception. Software will identify when critical data hasn't changed and provide the associated audit trail as readily available as data. So let's take a look. Check your audit trail in action. Look at tools. We have record auto log and security auto log. Security is more based for users. And use computer systems. And there you go. Here's the security auto log for holding it printout as well, or record. Again, for the record on the log. And here you'll see quite a few options. And this is what's important when we look at data integrity. You'll see all the record types you can pull up to review your audit trail. So many different features you can pick from. So in essence, what are we looking at? We're looking at an iceberg ahead, in essence. We're making sure all controls are built into your software so you can prepare for that inspection. That's so important. And the question is, will the software protect you alone in an audit? It's a big question. I'm sure we get half of the people think they will, the other half think it will protect you and you. In essence, you really have to have something in place around your software. You have to make sure that your company culture is in place, for example. You have to make sure that you have SOPs and documentation in place as well around all of it. And you want to make sure that you actually come in and you can kind of look at your software and look at your data and your audit trails and come in and review it. Make sure that nothing. So you have to make sure that you think everything is great on the horizon, but deep down below, for the iceberg analogy, you want to make sure that basically that you know all the hidden potential failure modes that are out there. If you possibly would have an inspection or have someone come out on site, we should be able to pull up your data in an efficient, timely manner. If you think you ask questions about files that records that were maybe a year old or so, I mean that's all important things to understand and be able to obtain as well. We should be able to get your data as well, and would it be potentially has it been validated when it's gone to an archive or to a database? And could it be potentially manipulated once it's in the process of getting picked up from LIMS or from another system? You want to make sure that you can't go into those folders where your data records are about to get picked up. And someone, they want to go in there and just click on the record and try to manipulate data and save it again, and you just lost your whole record or your report. So you want to make sure that you have a ton of protection modes in place to prevent when things go wrong and be prepared for as much risk as possible. So that leads us to the last part, and that's the higher level data integrity aspect of what we're looking at. So we're looking at establishing a risk-based approach to your review process through audit trails. So the challenge, and that's reviewing audit trails, are all of our department systems producing vast amounts of information during reviews? They are. They're producing tons of information, and we need to keep track. The system must be validated first. We need to define which data is critical to patient safety and regulatory compliance. We need to analyze the type of data in the system and the business process, specifically looking at the defined data. We need to identify areas of high risk for patient safety and compliance. And develop a risk-based approach to the criticality of data. And this is where data integrity is heading. If you look at this workshop and seminars that are happening out in the industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, all of it is focused on reviewing the audit trail at this point. And this is where we're focusing on as well. So we're really looking at a way to help our customers and our end users in the end on site with our sales teams, with our technical teams, and with our software teams as well. Is where we're looking at going in and making sure that they're using our software to the best possible ability. Otherwise, the software may not protect you in the end. So we want to come in and do possible gap analysis and risk assessments for you to help you understand any type of failure loads that you may have. And to start that process, we have to look at it from the data flow. And this is one of the things we'll probably start with when we come on site or start talking to you is, how do you, what are the stages for running your test? You have sample preparation, data acquisition, data processing, data reporting, data review, and data retention. And the key to look at all these little steps, or all the steps to the whole process is what can people do here to compromise integrity? And that is the basic question of data integrity. Again, we'll look at a consolidated data flow. I don't want to harp on this too much, but you'll have sample preparation all the way out to taking your samples and turning them into LIMS or LODA. So we have it stepped out. So we can go through the map with you, the process map, and work with you to find out exactly what steps you're running with, and see if there's any failure modes. And failure modes are things that could possibly go wrong if you have an inspection. So we want to eliminate any failure modes in your process, so you will be ready for an inspection when the time comes. As part of the process, this is just a slide to show you an idea of how it works. And this is the first part of the process, the data acquisition stage. And so the actions that all take place in setting up your template to working with your data, what inputs are required, the data types that you're working with, and who's responsible for the process. And these are all things we'll be working with you on site with to gather the data to make sure it's running properly. Ultimately, what we want to do is come up with a failure modes effect analysis. And this is where we assign issues where things could possibly go wrong again. So here's an example of just an idea of something that potentially can go wrong. And you're asking, perhaps the sample that you're weighing is not being recorded properly. So you want to look at certain things, what are the control measures you have in place, the residual risk as well, and how you want to assign it criticality in a risk category. You would then have an action to take care of that failure mode potentially, and you would see if it was something that the exceptions of doing that action have a low risk, medium risk, or high risk. So in the end, the failure mode effect analysis will look at failure modes, but also come up with a way to assign criticality to your review process as well. And that's what we're looking at as well, to set up review processes for our customers so they can look at their audit trails as well and come up with a process in place, basically to reduce failure modes. So how can we want to help? We have our software, we can detail and toxin detection in the software, which is, I think of it as more like the ship when you look at the iceberg. So it's basically our platform to helping you with data integrity. We can help in the transition from cell processing to testing, and that's something we can easily do as well. We can provide an on-site gap analysis for assessment based on data integrity in your overall process. And you can reach out to us through our website as well on that, or through our technical team. And again, we can provide strategies for looking at your workflow. And this is based on Six Sigma practice. So when we're looking at your process, as I showed earlier, through the 6 steps, we can look for things to reduce all your steps as well. And that will minimize your risk as well for any potential failure modes. So we want to align you, our goal as well as the providers of our software is to align you with data integrity and make sure we can help you to the best of our ability. And here are the references from the presentation. So, questions. Send your questions via the question feature on the screen, or please contact our scientific support at the email address below. And please don't forget to subscribe to our e-news and webinar updates at the address below. And for everyone, I think with this, I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I really did as well. It's something I really hold dear to my heart. And I think we've come to today's end of the presentation. So thank you for everyone's attention. Well, thank you, Robert, for this comprehensive presentation. I think it was quite good and quite covering every topic, and we are running a little bit late now, but there are still a few minutes to answer these dumb questions. There's one question from Stephen. So the question is, does WinCTL detect if the user changes the computer date or time? That's a good question. I think the answer would be no. I don't think there's a mechanism for that. I think that would be a higher level area. So I probably should fall under corporate governance, but I can always get back to Steve on that as well. Thank you. Okay, so thank you. And another question. Do I need to validate a barcode scanner which is shown in your presentation? I would say I would look into it from the manufacturer, actually. I think there may be ways to do that. They may have like barcodes they can reference. So they can probably talk to the manufacturer, or we can definitely help them as well. If they just let us know which manufacturer they purchased it from, we can reach out and find out as well. So I think it's something that probably needs to be addressed and looked at, for sure. Okay, thank you. And maybe one final question. What types of audit trails are there again? Okay, well, I believe there is well, if you look at audit trail, I believe there is a security audit trail, which captures activities of failed logins and things of that nature. And then we have also audit trails. We have the whole feature of audit trail that were listed in the presentation that can go through as well. I think we have tons of them. So I guess if the person that asked the question can email me or someone directly, we can get back to them and give them the full list that we have in our software and provide them with more information on that. Okay. Thank you again. So with that, I would like to thank you again, Robert. And thanks for all people subscribing and listening. And yeah, I hope you will join again for our next webinar, and have a nice day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ingo, and thank you everyone for joining today. In the first part of our presentation, we are going to have a look at some basic questions about interference itself. Namely, why is there so much interference? Which substances and conditions interfere with the BET assay? And at which stages of the assay can which interference occur? Before we do this, let me just do a very brief recap so that we are all on the same page. When we talk about interference, we consider two different types. The first one is inhibition, where you underestimate the real endotoxin concentration. And the second one is enhancement, where you overestimate the real endotoxin concentration. To make sure that this doesn't happen in your assays, regulatory authorities require you to test for interference. And this test is also called inhibition enhancement testing, or making an inhibition enhancement profile. Regardless of how you call them in your own lab, those all mean the same. That before you do routine testing, you have to find a treatment for your sample that ensures you find the endotoxin that might actually be in it, and of course you have to validate all of that. I'm pretty sure that all of you have seen interference in a sample at some point, regardless of which endotoxin detection method you use. And from experience, you also know that depending on how bad the interference is, it can be pretty time-consuming to do that inhibition enhancement testing and find a pre-treatment for the sample that allows you to overcome the interference. In your standards, you usually don't have any problems because those are simply endotoxin preparations in water.